you were sent to the principal's office. And it happened to me once. I was in 2nd grade, and my principal walked in. I was in the background. I'm talking away. And he says, hello, into my office.
How do you know your name?
Well, the teachers came up. It's very disrespectful. Does that happen today? I don't think so. And I was a little nervous and scared.
I sent the principal to Lionel.
And I go into the office and I'm sitting there shaking. I'm in 2nd grade. How old am I? 7 years old. He looks at me and says, Hello. It's not like you to talk while the teacher speaks. I said, I'm sorry.
That was the only time you went?
It's the only time. I can't say it was the only time I spoke. That was the only time I was sent to the principal's office. And he looks at me and he says, you know what? I know what you're punished. No, I don't even know if he used the word punishment. He says, my office floor needs a sweeping. Here's the broom and sweep up my floor.
Child abuse, parent or teacher abuse. I had to have a lawsuit on our hand, you know.
I guess Nathan was off that day, so I swept the floor. That's why I'm always cleaning the shoes.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Tak, I use your watch. Tak, I use your watch. I just have your watch so I can see what time it's over. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Okay? Okay, first of all, good evening. It's good to see everybody. Especially the Friedmans are here in strength. Baruch Hashem. And Yehuda's brother lives from here in Eretz Yisrael. You're going back tomorrow? Tomorrow? Oh my goodness. It was very nice having you. Come again. You have an address that says Yerushalayim. Isn't that nice? I know Isaac Bachbal, when he comes back, he says, can you imagine having an address that people send it to me and they put Israel on it? That's a different discussion, but that's a nice address to have, that's for sure. Okay, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing the 6 Sheish Mitzvos to Midios, the 6 mitzvahs that can be done any moment. As long as you're awake and conscious, the applicability is all the time. As opposed to, like we said, an example, you can only keep Shabbos on Shabbos, you can only keep Yom Kippur, Sheit the Lulav and Esrog, only on these holidays, only on these days. Or, you can only help people, do chesed, basically if there's somebody that you can reach out to. So last week we spoke about 2 of the 6. Which 2 do we speak about? Rabbi Osai? What are the first 2 of the 6 mitzvahs? Number 1?
Believe in Hashem.
Very good. Did I say that in Hebrew? How do you say a belief in Hashem in Hebrew? With an aleph? Amunah. You have to have amunah. And we went into the tributary amunah bitachon. Second mitzvah? What's our second mitzvah?
There's only one God.
Very good. We'll get into that. Is that okay? Is that right? There's only one God? What's the second mitzvah?
Don't do idolatry.
Oh, very good. First, don't believe in idols. Don't believe in idols. That's the second mitzvah. Tonight we want to do the next 2. And the next 2 are, what Dr. Bernstein says, God is one. And this next one after that would be to be in awe of God. Yiras Shamayim. And we'll speak about different concepts of fear of God. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at the third mitzvah, which is believe in one God. Now let me ask you a question. Isn't that the corollary of the second mitzvah? The second mitzvah is don't believe in other gods. This mitzvah is believe in one God. Doesn't, especially we've established emunah, so I know I have faith in God, and then it tells me don't believe in other gods. So doesn't that mean God is one? Why do I have to have a third mitzvah, number 1, that there's one to remember to believe that God is one, number 1, number 2, and why is that so important? That it's one of the 6 mitzvahs.
I think in the past people have said there's polygon.
That's true.
More than one.
That's true. But you know what? You're 100% right. There is polytheism. Which is called about polytheism. But we already took care of that in the second mitzvah. Don't believe in avodah zarah. We already took care of that. So why would I need to tell me a third mitzvah in and of itself? There's only one God.
Well, but I'm not talking about an idol. I'm talking about a spirit. There's 2 spirits.
Why not?
Many people believe in that.
So then, but wouldn't that be obviated when I go ahead and I know that don't believe in other gods? To me, it sounds like the repetition. So, yes, Linda.
Well, I don't know if this is correct or not, but the sin goat.
1 second. Did you lose your voice?
No, I haven't.
Oh my goodness. Well, we wish you everything should go
I
well.
sound like Rod Stewart. I should.
No, because Mrs. Rhodes also sounds like that. Go ahead. I just where you're at.
When
Wait.
they send the sin goat off to Azazel,
The sin goat, the Sirachatos to Azazel. Good.
isn't that a spirit? And,
Are you picking up like Dr. Bernstein? All right.
and therefore, we have to believe in one God and know that anything else is just.
Right. So I'm saying that you're right. 100 both of you are right. But the thing is, that's the second of the two beliefs. Don't believe in Avodah Zarah. Don't believe in other gods. That means, by corollary, inference, there's only one God. So why does it have its? Why does it say have one God? Number one. And number two, why is it so important? Yes.
Maybe there's a difference between belief and knowing that it's out there somewhere.
Well, okay, there is a between belief and knowing, but both are beliefs over here, and that God is one.
Well, maybe it's because the God is united, meaning he can't separate himself into different creatures or different people.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, he can't.
I mean, he could vary, but those are semantics. What that means, what he would do something. Okay, God, we're getting into something. Okay, that God is one, the unity of God. Okay, and we'll explain that more. We want to explain that more, or just understand. I hear what you're saying. I want to give a third question. Where do you say this concept, God is one?
Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Excellent. Where else do you say it? In the davening. Where else do you say it in the davening? I'll give you a little hint. You say it in every time you daven. Shachris, Mincha, Marav. Every time you daven, you speak about the oneness of God. Think about it for a second. Towards the end of the prayer services, you say about the oneness of God. Aleinu. What do you say to Aleinu? The last part of Aleinu, the Ne'emar v'haya Hashem melech al kol haaretz. God will be king over the entire universe. Bayom hahu. Yehuda, what does it say? Yeah. God, you also tonight it's hard to speak for me. Yeah, Hashem. Very good. Very good. On that day, when God's going to be supreme over the whole world, you know what's going to happen? Then God will be one, and His name one. Do you have a problem with that? You have any problems with that? What do you mean that day? He's one right now, and we say in that day He's going to be one. That just knocks off our third principle. God's not one. Chas v'shalom, I want to say this, but how do you understand that? In that day, God will be one. What?
One on earth.
But is God one?
To other
Okay.
people.
What?
It's not apparent to other people that don't believe in one.
To the people that don't believe in one God, then on that day, God will be one. Okay, I can hear. Very good. I can hear that. Any other?
It's not apparent to people now. It's just not.
Why isn't it apparent? You're right.
You see all different things. You think that they have reality.
What's going on in this world? You know, the schmutz, schmutz is the immorality in this world. That you keep in politics. What's going on in politics? It's always you ever watch the news? Usually it says breaking news. This is the worst thing that's about to happen. Everything is breaking, always breaking news. Now what's going on over here? We have so much stuff, so many different situations. You can start questioning who's running this world. You know, there's one God over here. Who's running this world? What's going to happen is, by Yom Hahu, on that day, pre the Mashiach, Messianic times, where everybody will see there is only one God. You know what that means? You know what our Chazal, our rabbis tell us that there's one God? I'll say it in Hebrew. Try to figure out what I'm saying in English. Kishem Shemevorchim al hatov Yevorech al hara. Kishem.
Name.
Just like, or name, that's shame, but kishem. Just like people will say the prayers over the good, they'll say it over the bad. What does that mean? When something great happens to you, what are you supposed to say? What bracha do you say? Something fantastic happens to you. You get yourself a new car. You get one of those little Ferraris and you just go tooling around. What do you say when that happens? Besides, there goes my insurance. But what are you supposed to say when you buy a car? What do you know what you're supposed to say? Shechianu.
Right.
Shechianu.
Yeah.
Do you always say a Shechianu? You're right. But sometimes you buy a car, you don't say Shechianu. Not because it's an old lemon. But there's a time in Shechianu. The bracha is Hatovu Meitiv. God is good and does good. When you say Shechianu, when you say Hatovu Meitiv, Shechianu is saying if it's your car and only your car. Tovu Meitiv. That means it's not only good for me, it's good for other people as well. So that's when good things are happening. You're saying Tovu Meitiv or Shechianu. Rahman al-Islam. When something bad happens, what bracha is said? What? Very good. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam dayan ha'emes. That God is dayan ha'emes.
He's true.
He's the judge of truth. Okay. Now, if there's a little bit of a dichotomy over there, because when things are good, you say Shachianu v'kiyamanu v'giyanu l'kmanaseh or Tov Meitiv. If things aren't going well, but really bad, Rachman Litzlan at a funeral, the blessing is when the person tears kriya, you say those words, very powerful words, dayan ha'emes. We don't understand, Hashem, why are you doing this? But we don't understand. But what we're supposed to say is, I have faith in you, Hashem. I just don't understand. But when the Mashiach comes, everything like the picture, everything now opens up. I see there's a reason. Everything has a rhyme or a reason. There's a concept when things are, we live in a lot of veils in the world that we live in. The Yetzer Hara can get us and you don't see clarity, you don't see truth. You know what happens? When a person goes ahead and he sees that there's a reason for it, then he sees God is one. It's not that we have one God. I be careful, I don't want to say this. Moody, that he has moods. God doesn't have moods. God is the ultimate in truth, the ultimate in trust, justice, and the ultimate in kindness. And ultimately, you can say this, the ultimate in love. That maybe supersedes everything. He loves us. And it's very, very difficult for all of us that when things don't work out, either small things and then it gets more and more intense, to us to say, Hatovu Meitiv. You know what type of level you have to be on to say Hatovu Meitiv? I don't know if anybody can, it's not a terrible tragedy that happens. I'm going to say Hatovu Meitiv. You can't, I don't know if we're in that any level to say that. But there'll come a time that we could be able to do that. If you really have clarity. And that's why these 6 mitzvos are so important. And the number one is Emunah, faith in God. Now we're going to explain. And what type of God? We don't have any other gods. God is in control of everything. But God is one. And that oneness is the best that ever happens to us. There was a story told about a big rabbi, I forgot his name, and somebody passed away. I think he lost a child. And he said, and it was time for the Levaya, the funeral, and he didn't come out of his house right away. And they waited, and then finally, half hour later, he opens the door and he comes out of his house and says, now we can have the funeral. So he said, Rabbi, it took you so long to come out. He says, I know. I really was going to come out right away. But I know I have to make the bracha of Baruch Dayan Emes. It's very hard. It's so hard. But I know I have to be kishem. Just like when I say the bracha of Shechianu, I have to say, on that same intensity, I have to say Dayan Emes. And that takes work. I can say it lip service, but I want to feel it. And that's why it took me a half hour to come out. What we're trying to do, when we say Tova Meitiv, and when we're saying God is one, one hat, one God. And to realize how Hashem works for each and every one of us. And that's a tall order. It's something very important for our own well-being and state of mind. I don't understand why these things happen, but I accepted Hashem. And I know that you love me. You know, the word for coincidence in Hebrew is mikre, right? Mikre. And you go to Israel, okay, Rabbi Friedman's going to Israel soon. What do they like to say? Zerak mikre. It's coincidence. I didn't think about, I had a dream about somebody that I didn't see for 20 years, and the next day I meet them by the kotel. Zerak mikre. So the answer is that might be in the modern Hebrew dictionary. But what do we say? Ein mikra. There's no such thing as mikra. How do you spell mikra with my blackboard? Mem. How do you spell mem? Kuf. I don't think I should draw on this now. I don't think the Moscow would spell Mr. Moscow would be too out bad. Mem kuf mikra. Reish hey. Zerat mikra. It's a coincidence. If you rearrange those letters, mem, kuf, reish, hey, you can get two other words. What would you get to? You have to really visualize. I know Mrs. Levitas knows this, but if you have mikra, mem, use kuf, reish, hey. Try to read. It's a jumble game if you want to jumble all those words up. So one time I was giving the class and I said mikra, mem, kuf, reish, hey. What do you get? Kuf, reish, mem, hey. Says, what's kuf reish meme? Karma. I said, no, we don't have the karma. Be here while you do your jumbles. So what is it? What is a rikma? Reish kuf mem he. Rikma, lirkom, rikma is embroidery. If anybody ever does embroidery, or you see embroidery, you know, they're working along, they're doing some beautiful flower. So you look at it, it's a hodgepodge of different color yarns. And the person says, yeah. Turns it over. Oh, that's a beautiful picture of the kotel. That's life. It's not, there's no mikra. Why it happens this way then, in a certain time way. Everything is a jumble in a sense of different colored yarns. We don't see it until, sometimes you don't see it until Yom Adin, or until we see emes, we see truth. Oh, now everything is beautiful. That's one way of learning that. But the same letters, mem kuf reish hey could be, as we said, reish kuf mem hey, rikma, or rak, two words, rak, me Hashem. Reish kuf and the me and then a hey with on top of it. Everything is from God. And that's what it means. He's a chad. A chad means one hat, so to speak, in the ultimate. That's what Hashem is. And that's what we're praying for. There will be a day where everything makes sense to us. Even the most painful and difficult situations, it makes sense. But we're human beings. We have nerves and a nefesh habahamis. We have earthliness to us. And I felt a little bit bad. And last week I didn't say this. I'll say it now. Everybody has struggles. I mean, we're going to answer all your struggles, or my own struggles. Everybody goes through consistently difficulties. But you have to say, I'm trying my best. I'm doing what I can. That's all I can do. And I have faith in you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that you'll take care of it. Now, how do I develop that faith to see that God is one? Two words. We spoke about it a little bit last week, and we'll speak about it again this week. Hashgacha pratus, which means divine providence. And, not just divine providence, which it does. What does providence mean? Providence, I talk about HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but providence, hashgacha pratis. A mashgiach is somebody that, watches out. The mashgiach is the inspector, and somebody that's the policeman. And hashgacha pratis means everybody has their own life and situations. And there's a reason why you and I were born in the 1980s, 70s, 60s. Oh gosh, a little further.
80s.
Aaron, he's over here. I think one of my kids said to me years ago, Abba, did they have cars when you were growing up?
Horse and buggies.
Yeah, horse and buggies. Where Jackson told me, when you told me that story that George Bush goes, George Bush lives here, so he went to a elementary school. He said, the president's coming. So he gets in there and he talks. He said, do you know who I am? The fellow said, what?
I know.
Who?
You're George Washington.
Yeah. Sometimes you reach a certain age and then, they're all lumped together. How's Valley Forge showing it? Does this remind you of the Holtz front that's coming through? Anyway, there is hashgacha pratis in everything that we do, and Hashem makes it in that way. We had we had a situation. Even how many years ago, one of our guests. It's so interesting. You have guests, and they come to our Shabbos table, and we're talking as a Baal Tshuva. He wasn't born from, but he came from, and we're talking to him like, how did he come from? How did he become observant? So he told us stories like this. You heard? I know I've spoken about Rabbi Meir Schuster, Zatzal. Who's Rabbi Meir Schuster? Do you know who he is? A very special fellow. He's an individual. They used to call him the Wall Man. You go to the Kotel, and he was such a wonderful person. And he would try to direct people who were visiting in Eretz Yisrael for a Friday night of Shabbos. You need a place to eat? Give me a place to go ahead. Want to learn a little bit of Torah? So he would talk to them. And he was a very quiet individual. And he was, I think, responsible, not the right word, he was this mezochet, he had the merit. And I forgot what the numbers are, hundreds, thousands of people, to have him just go ahead and have a Friday night meal. Yeah, I mean, the 18-year-old kids, their backpacks, they're looking, they're searching. Want a hot meal? And we always know how a kugel can be very instrumental in making somebody a Baal Tshuva, children for sure. So what happened was, he would talk to so many people. And he knew the different yeshivas, and he tried to size up the person immediately. Or we should go to Esha Torah, or you should go to Or Sameach. Where should you go? But how's he going to go over to somebody? He's going to go, excuse me, would you like a meal? He felt a little bit uncomfortable doing that. What did he say? Excuse me, do you have the time? And the person, it's 10:30. He says, oh, that's nice, I like your watch. And they start talking. And then he warmed up, and he says, you know what? Are you doing anything tonight, Friday night? You may like to eat someplace. That's what we did. Somebody said, and he was very successful, somebody said if you take away his watch, that he would have no more income. He would have no more people to talk to. There goes his business. So this fellow was sitting at my table. He's at our table. The Rebbe remembers this. They had a brother and a brother-in-law. I don't want to go too much into it, but he was very special for us. He goes ahead, and he said he went to Israel, I guess backpacking, trying to find meaning in life. Goes to the hotel. He said, there's this wall, it's a wall. There's rocks over here, and there's birds flying around, and there's grass growing out different places in the hotel, in this wall. So he said like that. He saw people were praying. He says, God, if you're really up there, and if you're going to listen to my prayers, and you want to talk to me, give me a sign right now. Just then, he feels a tap on his shoulders. It was Meir Schuster. Excuse me, sir, do you have the time? He says, oh. And he started talking. That's hashgacha pratis. That's, and we all have it on different levels. So what we have to try to do is realize it. The problem is, we're so busy, we don't think, and we're so many hats that we wear, we don't take time. As my mother, Allah Shalom, would like to say, I think it's an expression used in yesteryear, take time to smell the roses. You ever say that? Anybody do that with the old time? Smell the roses. Relax. Here and there, your phone and the fax machine. What's a fax machine? With the phone and you got texting and Instagrams and everything else. We're so connected with things that we shouldn't be connected with. At the right time, right way, that's important, but be careful. We're inundated. We have time to think. But that's what we're supposed to do. And then recognize Hashem is Echad. Hashem's here. He's one. This week's Sedra. And it doesn't have to be. And sometimes it's not. All of a sudden, do you have the time? Nice chicken meal tonight you'll have. Everything is great and wonderful. Sometimes you see Hashem's presence in terrible situations, in very, very difficult situations. Where do you see that in this week's Sedra? This week's Sedra is Parshas Vayeshev. Where do you see God's presence in, what do we say? A dakedakus. A small little aspect of God's presence. But it was turned into something so powerful. In this week's Sedra, these Sedras are chock full of so many different lessons. We read about one of the passages in this week's Sedra Vayeshev, Yosef. His life of Yosef, one of the Shvatim, the roller coaster life that he had. He had everything. He had everything, and he had nothing. As a matter of fact, just a quick part of it is, he was sent by his father. He said, I know the brothers, I want them to get together. And that's when, and he sent Yosef to see where they were. And he got lost. So what happened? What happened after he got lost? What did Hashem do? He sent to Ish. He said there was a man, Ish literally, a man, to go ahead and to guide Yosef in the right way. And the Rabbi tells us Ish really means a malach, an angel named, and it was Gavriel. To show him where to go. So Gavriel comes down in the guise of a man, and he says as follows: I see you're lost. Ma ata mevakesh. Yeah, which you know what? Ma ata mevakesh. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? So there's another word in that sentence. You know what lay more? You know what lay more means? Lay more from the word omer to say. Lay more means more than that. To say to others. Where do you see that in the Torah? Often, many times. Vayedaber Hashem el Moshe. Lay more. God talked to Moshe. Then stop there. Lay more to speak to other people. Okay, very nice. So the question is, why did Gabriel say to lay more? What are you looking for? But Yosef's going to go around and ask everybody, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? To teach them you should ask people that? I don't know. Why does he say that? What does he mean, what are you looking for? Besides the literal translation of what are you looking for? You look to lost. Again, something that alone might be a very good lesson. Remember, sad, that little boy who who got lost in New York and was kidnapped and eventually was killed. Kletsky, there was what's his name? Yaakov or Yosef? Unfortunately, in New York, a boy was walking in, I think, Borough Park, a very observant place, and got lost. And a man came over to him and says, "Oh, little boy, come with me. I'll take you to my apartment. I'll help you find where you have to go." And ultimately, the boy was murdered. Terrible thing. So what happened? And he was quiet. It was terrible. So what happened was, one of the rabbis was giving a very nice, when he talked about this, the message was, if you see, can you imagine if you saw this little boy lost? If somebody who would have gone over to him, a real person, said, "What are you looking for?" Be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. You can help somebody. The whole tragedy could have been averted, but it wasn't. So what happened was, Yosef, going back to Yosef, says, "Ma tav tavakish." What are you looking for? So Rabbi Twersky says, you know what really was going on over here? Yosef was about to enter that roller coaster, but on a lot of the downs. He was about to be, they conspired his brothers to kill him, some of the brothers. He said, no, we'll throw him in a pit. They throw him into a pit. He's about to be thrown into a pit, 30 feet deep. Scorpions and snakes were in that pit. Then, who knows if he'll get out. They sold him, took him out of the pit, they sold him to different, to caravan. They then went ahead. He went to Egypt. He was bought by made a slave to Potiphar, and treated horribly. Then he was elevated, and by Potiphar, and then he was accused by Potiphar's wife of doing a crime that he didn't do, and he's thrown into jail. The dungeon of Paro. They didn't get off good time for good behavior. So, could languish for the rest of his life. He was 17 years old. Terrible thing. So you know what the angel was saying? And eventually he was saved. You know what the angel was, maybe according to Rabbi Tversky, homiletically saying? Mata tevakesh. What's your goal in life? What do you really want out of your life? If you and I know what we really want out of our life, so then we're able to develop, okay, anything that wants to derail us from achieving that, we'll have more strength because we're focused consciously. What is it we want out of life? And what should we want out of life? Think about it for yourself. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want to be known for? Not just known for people to give you accolades, but what message? 70 years, 80 years, 120 years, pretty short time. What message? What do you want? What do you want? Whether it's children to know, grandchildren to know, or people to know, spouses to know what it is. What do they want? What do you want to teach them? Well, we're not here just to go. I think last week I speak about the fellow who was a bowler. He was. That's what he did. He wasn't a professional bowler. He just loved to bowl. On his coffin, on his headstone, he had them put a bowling ball. And he cemented the bowling ball on top of the headstone. The epitaph: "Here lies John Doe. He loved and he lived to bowl." I mean, that's what you want people to say? Taking a ball and just go down the lanes? We want, and these are very important questions to ask. Look, I think it's a very nice time. It's on the Rebbitzin, people come, during the week to learn Torah. It's much easier to be at home, relaxed, and if there's so much going on out that you go relaxation, but you want to learn and grow. That's an important thing. That's what we have to. That's what we should do. But what do you ever ask yourself that question? What's your goal in life? What is it that you really want? And I mean, the best thing would be, to ask, a family member, how am I doing? What should we be doing? A family get together, or friends. What is it that you think I should do? What's my direction? That's more. It's a religious person. You should religious leader. But why are we here? So one of these 6 things is to realize that Hashem is one, and that's what we have to realize. So going back to Yosef, what happened to Yosef? He could easily have been just depressed. Here he is, taken out of this pit that was thrown in by his brothers who were tzaddikim. Can you imagine you have 10 or 12 Reb Moshe Feinsteins, Reb Aaron Cutlers, and they say, we paskin, you have to go we're going to throw you into the pit. That's a pretty, these people are great people, the brothers. So what happens? He goes in, terrible, he's taken out, and all of a sudden, what do we have? A caravan. What was the caravan goes by? What was the caravan carrying? So the Torah tells it. It was carrying spices, balsam, lotus, nice sweet-smelling spices. Why does the Torah have to tell me what it was carrying? To teach us a major lesson. Yes, Yosef, you're going through a terrible time. But Hashem, I'm with you. And I'm going to give you the tap in the shoulder and say, do you have the time? I'm going to go ahead, and the carrier you're going into will have sweet-smelling spices. Because normally it would be tar and there'd be very foul, rancid-smelling objects. But not this time. And Yosef, throw it up. And sometimes just that little, you see something small that happens. That's what it means, Hashem Echad. I'm with you. I'm with you. Whatever you go through. But why you go? But God, you're one. And being one, that means you can do anything you want to. So, change everything. Reunite me with my brothers and my father, so I really love them and they love me and they're righteous. But he probably prayed for that. But the fact that he didn't get it, because that was part of his unique journey through life, and all of us, everyone here has a unique journey that we have to go ahead and we have to do something about it. And it's what they say, it's the journey, not the destination, that's important as we go through life. So that I would say would be sometimes to these small things, but that's how a person has to go ahead and to understand it. All right, so that's number 3. Okay, the third mitzvah, which is oneness of God. And that oneness of God, I can count on it. It's hard, but I can count on it. Sometimes it's hard to realize that you're there with me. Wherever I go, you go. It says, and Chazal tell us, Imo Anochi B'Tzara. God appeared to Moshe Rabbeinu when the Jewish people were suffering in Egypt in a burning bush. Why a bush? Gosh, you have to have one of those red cedar oak trees, 100 maybe something like that. A little burning bush, and it causes it to burn and not be consumed. So Hashem says, Imo Anochi B'Tzara. I'm with the Jewish. Imo Anochi. I'm with you, the Jewish people, when the Jewish people have said sorrows. I'm there. It says when we read Eicha, B'chosiv ke balayla, which means cries at night. What do you mean? The Jewish people cries at night? What does that mean? One B'cho is for Klal Yisrael. The second B'cho is for Hashem. Hashem, so to speak, is crying. Yes, we have to go through that. But Hashem, it's that relationship that we're supposed to develop with Hashem. And that's the third of the 6 principles, which is God is one, and I go ahead and I believe it. Okay, any additions? Is that good answers? Right? One, that's why different to what that we're saying of the second one, that don't believe in other gods. Okay, I won't believe in other gods, I have faith in you, God, but who's God? Hashem is the one that loves us. And we see that Hashgacha Pratis, through the vehicle of Hashgacha Pratis, it's important to realize that. And then, we have to do? We have to emulate Him. And we have to walk in the ways of God by doing mitzvos, feeling for each other, feeling for others, especially Klal Yisrael, such a small people. You have to feel for each other. This again, some of these stories happened years ago, but they seem so clear to me, and I remember this happened 20 years ago. A friend of mine, a fellow rabbi, comes over to me one day. Now, I think my chavrusa, I was learning with somebody here. I was learning with this person. He says, I don't feel so good today. My ear hurts. You have an earache. So what did I tell him? I'm sorry to hear you have an earache. I'm sorry. I kept on my merry way. 2 days later, I received an earache, and my ear hurt me. I said, I know why. So now when anybody ever tells me they have an earache, I say, I feel terrible that you have an earache, because I know how these things could work out. But if we can realize to pattern ourselves after Hashem, that's very, very important. Myron, what do you want to say?
You say God is one on Mondays and Thursdays, too, at the end of Tafshin.
Yeah. At the end of the Tafshin, Hashem Echad, what do we say over there? Right? And when we say the Shema, that's a central, and if you start thinking about there is a central concept of the oneness of Hashem. Everything is there. Now we have to realize it. For our baseball, Lahavdil Elef Alfei Havdalas, which means that we want to distance what I'm about to say. It's so far away from how I'm going to apply it. But we have our baseball fans over here. They say that an umpire. What's a good umpire behind the plate? Not necessarily does he get exactly where the strike zone is. It's that he has to be consistent in calling the balls and strikes that's being thrown to the hitter the same way. If this is now his strike zone, then the pitcher knows this is what he wants. This is it. He knows what he wants. That's important. Consistency. And the most consistent is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because Hashem is there, we can always turn to Him. Okay. Number 3. Number 4. The fourth one is Yiras Shamayim. Fear of God. Now, if we're not careful, who wants to talk about fear? next week in Yiras Hashem, we'll speak about love of Hashem, and we should all, that seems like a nice, sweet topic. But fear of God? What does that mean? How do you understand fear of Hashem? So there are basic levels of fear of Hashem. One is schar va'onesh, that if I do something good, I'll be rewarded. If I do something bad, Hashem will punish me. And I realize there's no escaping what Hashem tells me to do. Everything is recorded. And they say that some of the inventions that people do, we can use that. Hashem gives us the knowledge for the people to make these inventions so that we'll be able to understand Torah better. The video camera that came out, now we can understand. You can do something now, forget it by 8 years later, they'll forget it in Shamayim. Well, let's go back to the video. Let's go see look how much hair I had. Everything is there and everything is remembered. So what is Yiras Shamayim? What does that mean? It's not about, we have to realize there is consequences. When we do things, there are consequences. Good consequences and sometimes negative consequences. That's why we have to gird ourselves. It's hard to go ahead and to stand up and to do something. It's hard to come to a class. It's hard to learn. But the reward will be so sweet. It's easy to eat that. I'm not sure the hechsher is so good. I'm not sure maybe it is Lashon Hara, but it's a great joke, and I'm sure everybody will like it, So sometimes I say, but be careful. Everything we do has a price, the tag attached to it. When it comes to Lashon Hara, it's easier because we like to say it never pays. It never ever pays for a person to say Lashon Hara because there'll be a day of accounting for it, and no matter how much, whether it's Lashon Hara or any other Avera, you have to be very, very careful about that. So that's one level, which is reward and punishment. Level number one. What's level number two when it comes to this concept of Yiras Shamayim? It means awe of God. We have to be in awe of the Almighty. Not because He's going to hurt us or punish us. Because He's Hashem, right? If the President of the United States all of a sudden would walk through this door, and he's accompanied by the Vice President and members of Congress, whether you're Democrat or Republican, just oh wow. Now think about it, if the greatest rabbis of the generation, they come in here, that's a wow type of awe. That's awe. And that's something, the next level, that when we're speaking about Yiras Shamayim, we're trying to achieve that and go there. There was in 1968. Who ran in 1968? Nixon and Hubert. Remember his name? Who was his middle name?
Horatio.
Oh, Horatio. Good, Jackson. Hubert Horatio Humphrey. One time he came as politicking. I grew up in Washington, D.C., and they had an event in one of the parks. I remember I close to my house. I went to see him. He had a big fellow. He had a really red face, like he had a ruddy complexion. Remember, he gets up there and says, "You go home and tell your parents to vote for Hubert Lyndon to go for." He was going against who? And who was his vice president? That's hard.
He was the vice president. He was Johnson's vice
Johnson,
president.
Johnson said, "Vote for Lyndon Baines Johnson and Hubert Horatio Humphrey." And then all of a sudden, he left, and I was a little kid, and I just felt myself just being moved with the whole crowd. So Nixon was politicking upstate New York for the elections. There's a fellow there that wanted to talk to Nixon. Why don't you tell him something? So he waited behind the security line when the motorcade was going by, and this way he wasn't even president yet. He decided he's going to jump over the security line, and he's going to go ahead and run up to Nixon. For some reason, even though it was that post-Kennedy assassination, he was in a convertible. He wasn't the president yet. So what happened is this fellow waited till the motorcade came right by, jumped over the barrier, and he ran over to Humphrey. And he ran very quickly, and before anybody could do anything, Humphrey and Nixon saw him coming, and Nixon stuck out his hand. So he grabbed his hand, and he went. He couldn't say anything because he just couldn't. He was just awed by the situation. By that time, the security man, they said, "What is this guy doing?" They jump off the car and they throw him over the other thing. But I just couldn't say anything. I was just so taken that I had the chance to shake a person who had a 50% chance of being the president of the United States and made the most powerful person. So, if that happens for a human being, how much more so we're talking to God? If we really had this awe of God, we would be able to say anything. And that's why, possibly, before every Shemona Esrei, what's the words that you say before every Shemona Esrei?
Oh, let my lips be true.
How do we say it? Hashem, Sfasai Tiftach. Please, God, open my mouth. Because, and really, I'm in awe. I'd be speechless. Now, that's a very high level. Do we feel that? If we only see the beauty of our Torah, the tefillos, are we able to, on that madrega? Or do we say, Hashem, where's the kichel? We have to be able to go ahead, and that's what we're trying to do, this Yiras Shamayim. There's something more than that. What could be bigger than Yiras Shamayim? So we have Yiras Hachet. I'm afraid I'll be punished if I don't do the mitzvahs. Yiras Shamayim, I'm in awe of you, God. There's a higher level that Mitzvos Shishayim talks about, and that's Yiras Hachet. Not Onesh. Not you're afraid of sinning. I'm soiling myself. If I do an Aveira, this beautiful neshama that you breathed into me, God, that's pure. How can I even do anything to go ahead and to return it to you? There's a little stain here, and here we go. Ever eat spaghetti with a beautiful white shirt? And he's like, oh my goodness. So I can't get a spaghetti stain on my soul. Because my soul is holy. My soul is pure. So if we can realize that's really what Yira is all about. It's really about to just being in, ultimately, I can't stain myself. But again, I'm just saying the words, and everybody has to integrate it whatever level everybody's. I have to also integrate whatever level we find ourselves in. But to realize that I have to realize there's only one Hashem. We spoke about last week. You can access Hashem 24/7. As opposed to, there was a fellow had a VIP tour of the capitals of the world. He goes to the White House and he says, and he sees he's taken in, and there's a president, Oval Office, beautiful mahogany bench, table, and 2 phones on the table, red phone and a purple phone. The fellow says, what's the red phone for? Hotline to Moscow. How much does it cost to use it? It costs you $100 for 3 minutes. Great. What's a purple phone for? Hotline to God. What? Yeah, I got a hotline to God. How much does that cost? $10,000 for 3 minutes. Wow. Okay, better talk to God. Goes next to Rechavia, goes to Eretz Yisrael, and he goes to the Knesset, and he goes to the Prime Minister's office, and he sees the beautiful mahogany. He gets again, 2 phones, red phone and purple phone. He says, Mr. Prime Minister, how much is the red phone? Red phone, ooh, that goes straight to America. How much does that cost? It costs you over here, it costs you $100 for 3 minutes. Okay, cheaper. What about the purple phone? Ooh, what's that for? Yes, to God. How much does that cost? An asimon. Remember, do they still have asimon in Israel?
No.
They don't.
They
It used to be a special time you put it into the phone and you get 2 minutes for it. It's an asimon, but it costs a dime. A dime to talk to God? Yeah, from here it's a local call. When you're in Israel, we have to even be like, even though we're in Dallas, we have to feel like we're in Eretz Yisrael and a relationship to Hashem. So we're, ladies and gentlemen, if we can do that and understand, we should be able to go ahead and say, Hashem, please help me, I'm trying my best. So in conclusion, what do we have? we have 4 of the 6 mitzvos so far. And since I'm taking preparing for the class, every so often I try doing that. It's in a sense it's easy, just have to remember it. You can get 6 mitzvos anytime you're alone or with other. If you teach somebody, you get 12 mitzvos. You can get them to do it. Just say so. I have a emunah in you, Hashem. I have faith in you, Hashem. I'm not going to go ahead and believe in any other gods. I believe there's only one God, and I see all the actions at least superficially look different, but there's still one basis. And I have an awe of you, Hashem. You got 4 mitzvahs right there. And then next week when we finish the last 2 on Tuesdays, what will we say on Tuesday? What will we say? We're going to speak about love of God. We're going to speak about this concept about don't stray after one's thoughts and after one's heart. We'll speak what that means. If we can do all those 6 of those mitzvahs, that's a bargain. You're going to be what we can be able to do. So unless anybody has any questions before we're ready to wrap it up, anybody want to say anything? Cheers.
So could you repeat the 3 levels in Hebrew?
Of
The
Yira.
first one, yeah.
First level is Yiras Ha'onesh. Onesh means punishment. Second level, Yiras Ha'romamus, means awe. We're in awe of God. Third level, Yiras Ha'chet. I'd be so careful. I don't want to get any stains on this beautiful soul. Those are the 3 levels. And you have to go step by step. Yes?
Another thing about Yiras Hashem is it's Reshit Chochmah.
Yeah, it's very good. And I don't want to get like America. Everybody has to be nice and sweet. You have to have apple pie and everything has to be nice and lemonade. No. Consequences, Yira. That, Myron's speaking about, that this concept of
Yiras Hashem.
what do we say every morning? Reshis Chachma. You know at the beginning of wisdom? Yiras Hashem. Because Rahman al-Islam, a person can be brilliant, but if you don't fear God, you can do the worst things. You don't have to go farther than the Nazis. Most civilized, the music, so classical, science that they did. But these are the same people that we know what they did. Murder, torture, innocent people. Why? Because there's no Yiras Hashem. It's a protective for us. Once I get my teeth, very good. They would go ahead and realize that that's one of the first things we say. Very good. And Aaron, you get the last word. You want to say something?
I was going to ask, is it something that we can also think? We don't have to say it out loud, or?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Should you just think it, or should you articulate it? These 6. I always like to articulate it. I think you might want. Oh, you got to sneeze. It's about to come. It's frustrating. So, should you say the 6 or just think the 6? I think it's good to. Maybe you might get credit if you think about it. Say it. Say it out. And you can do it. I think that it'll take you 20, 15 seconds to say it. Got 6 minutes right over there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next week we're back on Tuesdays, 8 o'clock for our last 2. And everybody should have a wonderful rest of the evening.
Thank you.
And say Shalom to Rabbi Friedman on the way back to Eretz Yisrael.